For us, Chad, thank you. So with Republicans holding a slim majority in the House, what would our next guest like to see at the top of the agenda? With us now, South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, welcome to you. Glad to have you here. So we all wonder what this new Congress will look like. Where do your priorities fall?
Well, you look at the election a week ago, there's a very slim majority in the Senate with Democrats, and in the House likewise, there'll be a very slim majority in our majority in the House, and I believe it's a mandate for us to work together. And I'm a fiscal conservative who, in my first term in Congress, I passed over 20 bills out of committee. I consistently reached across the aisle to work for my constituents, my state, and my nation, and that is the mandate that Americans are asking of us today. With slim majorities like this, we must work together if we want to get any progress and move the ball forward, whether it's economic issues like inflation and jobs and the supply chain, educational issues. I know that Raja, who's going to be on the program this afternoon, that he's very passionate about vocational training and education. That's a place where we have some agreement. Cybersecurity is another area where I've been very successful in working with members across the aisle, and it's my hope that we're going to continue to do that when we start the next session in January.
What do you say to a viewer who sees what you're saying, hears what you're saying, likes what you're saying, but thinks, come on, that's fantasy land? After what we've all lived through the past few years, do you really believe that the two sides with this slim majority, that you can work together to get things done?
Well, I think it'll be very difficult. There's no doubt. Partisanship has reigned over the last couple of years. Divisiveness has been the name of the game. It's all about adding to your Twitter followers and competing for how much money you can raise online. But there are Republicans and there are Democrats who are willing to work together. I've done that over the last 2 years, and I want to increase and improve that kind of work and reach across the aisle. I'm not going to turn my backs on South Carolina, South Carolinians or our country just because somebody has an R or a D by their name. And there's not going to be a lot that we agree on, but where we do, if we want to get anything to the president's desk to be signed into law in the next 2 years, it's going to require us to work together to negotiate, build consensus, and maybe make some concessions. That's going to have to be a requirement of this job over the next 2 years. If Republicans want to be successful, that's what we have to do.
Okay, so we're all still seeing those high prices at the grocery and the gas pump, and you just referenced our next guest coming up from the other side of the aisle. So give us an example. How could you work across the aisle with Democrats to try to bring those prices down, considering this was one of the biggest issues in the midterm elections?
Well, the supply chain, that's an area that I believe that we can work together on. It's across both sides of the country, East Coast to West Coast. Looking at cybersecurity, too, those issues have been very important. Look at Colonial Pipeline. They were hacked two summers ago, and that's when gas prices in the Southeast at least started to go up, and they never came back down. And so I think that there are a number of areas, and we're going to be looking to finding those ways of working together. I'll have a gavel on oversight and be a subcommittee chairman. And it's really going to be up to us who are in those leadership positions to find a way to work together no matter what committee we're on. And I promised to do that when I got reelected, and I'm going to keep that promise.
Okay, really good to have you on here today, Congresswoman. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And she said